Welcome everybody to our first inter-divisional round. This is in 7 seasons. This is the first time we're doing this, or we've done this. It's from Division 2, Bryan Scholl at the top, and from Division 1, Dylan Magika at the bottom. You can pretty much ignore those points because they're not competing against each other, so the points are only relevant to their particular division. Bryan is on Golgari again. We saw him get convincing victory with this last week. Dylan was on Blue-Black Surveil last time, so obviously he didn't like that deck. He's switched to Jeskai now. He chooses not to play Sarkhan. He wants to keep up that Ionize, and a very good reason right there. Vraska Golgari Queen. This is going to eat the Ionize for sure. And there's the Crackling Drake. This has been getting a bit of attention. I haven't actually inserted the new cards into this video. Apologies for that. But this Crackling Drake is a like X4, where X is the number of instants and sorceries in your graveyard and your exile. So in Modern it gets around graveyard hate, and it also draws you a card when it gets cast. I think it was Eric Froelich wrote for Channel Fireball this week exploring the possibility of it for Modern. I'm not really sure if it's viable or not, but we'll see. You see 2 Justice Strikes. This is where the creature's power does damage to itself. And Sarkhan goes down to a Assassin's Trophy, the new glamour removal spell from Golgari. Look at Vraska on 10, so he's actually going to be lethal next turn. Jade Light Ranger, and Dylan's just dead on board unless he gets a removal spell here. He needs... Teferi will buy him... Will it? No, I don't think Teferi's enough. Unless he's got that 3 mana sweeper, Teferi won't be enough. Now it won't be enough because he didn't leave white mana up. And it's a red-white one. Okay, so yeah, I like that play from Dylan actually. He used Teferi to bounce Vraska, so Vraska couldn't ultimate. But you can see he's tapped... Yeah, he's tapped incorrectly there because he couldn't use Justice Strike. And yeah, he's seen enough. We're on to game 2, so it's a pretty quick victory straight up there for Bryan. This Merfolk Branchwalker has been pretty impressive, and you can see the Plaguecrafter there. So Plaguecrafter particularly good here against control decks because it makes them sacrifice a Planeswalker. Sheevan Fire. I don't even know what that... I'm going to have to look that card up. I'm guessing it's a new card. I'm not... Oh no, it's from Dominaria. 2 damage, but you can kick it for 4 and it does 4 damage. It's an instant speed. But you can see a clean board with the Search for Ascanta. That's probably... Oh, Vivian Reed. Vivian Reed gets rid of the Search for Ascanta. I was about to say a clean board with the Search for Ascanta is exactly what Dylan wants. But Vivian gonna go to work now. There's a Plaguecrafter. I wonder if he wants to actually play this knowing that he's up against a control deck. Because he is going to play it, we just answered our question. Because you wouldn't expect any creatures out of Dylan's deck, and you look at him now, he's 1 card, it's a Justice Strike. Against a Planeswalker and 3 cards in hand. That's not where the control deck wants to be. And Vraska, this is ugly now. I think this one's over. Yeah, Dylan's seen enough, so we're going to Modern now. And this is interesting. I don't know what... It looks like a Blue Moon deck, but... Thought Scour. Blue Moon... Polluted Delta, it could be a... Grixis Delver against secure. Okay, so he's up against titanshift here. And he does have the third blue, so this looks alright at this stage. I think this is not a bad matchup for the Blue Moon player, because you just counter the the Primeval Titan and the Scape Shift, and then that's it. And you play Blood Moon to shut off Valakut. So now he's going to hold up Cryptic Command. Four cards in hand, 3 cards in hand, not much going on, so he'll just use the cantrip there. Okay, Nimble Obstructionist. I'm wondering if this is a bit of a brew from Dylan. The only thing that's got me really confused at the moment is that Thought Scour. I don't really see the point in it, unless he's playing maybe Crackling Drake. So here's where you use the counter spell. He's going to Cryptic Command. I think you remind this for the cantrip first. Or actually, I wonder if Nimble Obstructionist. No, I don't think Nimble Obstructionist would work. I would go. He's got to remind it, because he can't use remind next turn in case there's a 4th land, because you can see. I'm sure he played. Bryan played a land this turn, so remind would work. The only problem is if he reminds it and he didn't play a land. Well, I'm not sure why he let that resolve. And I'm not sure why he just went and got 2 Velakuts with it. That doesn't make sense to me. And now he's going to cast it. Yeah, so I don't know what the hell happened there. That's very weird. You can see Valakut chipping away. So I'm wondering here if he needs to find... He's dead next turn if there's a mountain on the other side. So he's just going to preemptively bounce Valakut. So that's dead anyway. Titan's going to find the 2 mountains to get the job done. So convincing starts here from Bryan. He took down Standard 2 games to 0, and he's currently up Modern 1 game to 0. There's Thought Scour. So you can see Snapcaster. He's got a negate in hand. We'll get a look with this Thought Scour to see what's going on in that great... Oh, Tireless Tracker. I wonder if how much removal Dylan actually left in. Because blue-red Izzet can't beat a resolve Primeval Titan. It can only bounce it. But massive land flooding going on here. Two, four, 6. So Primeval Titan. Here's a Resolve Titan. So this is bad news, big time for the Izzet player. Dylan can. Dylan could snap Cryptic, but that's only buying time. They're just having a minor discussion in the chat about Dylan must have accidentally flashed a Cryptic somewhere. They're talking about only getting the 2 Valakuts in the previous game, so yeah, that confused the hell out of me as well. I'm not sure. I still don't understand the difference. There must be a rule there that I don't understand or I don't know, because I believe all the lands enter at the same time, so it's not like the Valakuts enter first and he can bounce it with the Cryptic. But we're on to Legacy nonetheless, and Dylan's playing this deck that we've seen a few times now, this Smokestack. Basically resolve a Smokestack and 2, 3. Yeah, he's got a turn 2 Crucible or Trinisphere. So he tries to resolve a smokestack, which makes the opponent and himself, I believe, just keep sacking permanents. Bryan on the other side, we'll see what he's. Bryan plays Sneak and Show. Well, that gets a Force of Will. So here we go. Top deck time for. Oh, it's a Grizzlebrand. It's not a. And talk about top deck. Ensnaring Bridge, the one card that could save him here. Yeah, he had one. I didn't even know what the Sneak and Show player has now that can beat an Ensnaring Bridge. He can play Khan here. He decides to go for Crucible so he can get City of Traders back next turn.
Hi, Daddy. When is school?
Okay. Have fun. You watch Daddy's game.
Have fun. Bye.
3 Khans. Well, 1 Khan is nice. 2 Khans probably a bit of a nuisance. 3 Khans is ridiculous. But on this board, I don't know why Bryan hasn't conceded yet. He has now. Yes. It was just inevitable. So he's going to play Gemstone Cavern. See if he goes for a Chalice on 1. He does. So this is going to shut off the cantrips. So quickly brainstorms before, possibly looking for a Force of Will. If he doesn't find it, he doesn't. This is going to make it difficult. He's gone turn 2 show and tell, but you can see Dylan got Ensnaring Bridge. So again, I don't think Blood Moon, Dylan's deck doesn't care about that. I'm not sure why he brought that in. Sneak attack. 2 sneak attacks. You can see you can just play. He's going to play it out by the looks of it. I'm not sure why. Sorcerer's Spyglass. I don't think it matters at this stage. He's down to 5. I mean, he saw the Ensnaring Bridge in game 1, so Sneak and Show must, and plays red, it must have some sort of artifact removal. You can see the Grizzlebrand is just had been drawing him cards, but can't draw any more because he's down to 4. So Khan going to work now. And again, this is kind of inevitable here. He's going to get a second Khan, but he's going to get a smokestack next turn. So see if he goes to smokestack here. He does. A ton of permanents for Bryan to sack, but it's inevitable at this stage. Unless he's got some, I don't know why you play a show and tell. He can play everything for free. That's just giving your opponent a free card. That's a bit stupid. Of the program to actually just offer you the choice as if you'd put the counter trigger to resolve first. Here's a Tangle Wire, not sure what that does. Just very quickly look that one up. Oh, it enables him to tap down artifacts. A whole heap of triggers, 2, 4, 6 of them. Bryan is playing this out, so I'm guessing he is looking for something specific. Well, there's a second ensnaring bridge, so we'll see if that... Now he's got an 8-8 that outclasses Grizzlebrand, so he can actually get another one. He's got lethal the turn after, so Bryan's going to take modern and standard 2 games to 0, and Dylan has fought back to take legacy 2 games to 0, but Dylan really needed to pick up the points in his division, so we'll see how things pan out for him in the other results.